Hello, I'm Paul Pluter and welcome to Paul Pluter Prestige. Today I'd like to talk about the Patek 5107 Calatrava. And I'm very fortunate to actually own this sample that you can see on the screen here. And the 5107 is a model of Patek which is no longer available. In modern sense, it disappeared before it even begun. The 5107 came out around year 2000 and it was replaced in the mid-2000s, about 2006, by the 5127. The 5127 and the 5107 are very similar, and many collectors and enthusiasts have trouble differentiating the two. But basically, the main visual difference is that a 5107 has a flatter bezel, whereas a 5127 has a more curved bezel. Some people say one version is better than the other, but it's all hearsay, and it's mainly from people who own one model and think it's better than the other. The 5107 was fitted with a 315 Patek automatic movement with the big gold rotor, whereas a 5127 could come with either a 315 in the early days, but was later replaced by the Patek 324 movement, which is basically the next version in that movement's life. The Patek 5107 is a modern Calatrava, as it's considered a Grande Taile Calatrava, and it measures 37 mils across. And this piece here, although 37 mils may not sound huge compared to monstrosities that sports watches represent, is still a very nice size, very large size for a Patek dress watch. And the 5127 or the 5107 represent the future of Patek. And this model itself, the Calatrava, is probably the most famous signature line in the range. The Patek 5107, in my opinion, is the better of the two. However, I'm very biased since I own a 5107. The 5107 itself was called by Nick Foltz the most beautiful wristwatch in the world, and I certainly would not argue with that man. The 5107 is a gorgeous piece. It's a three-hand piece with very 1960s Delphine hands, a gorgeous center second, and a date function at the 3. And the piece itself is very useful. I've chosen white gold, but the piece does come in yellow gold, rose gold, or platinum. The platinum piece also has a black dial to distinguish it from the white gold piece. My own opinion is, I think the opaline white off-white dial is probably the pick of the range, and I think the 5107 in white gold is the bang per buck one to get. It represents good value buying for a Patek as well as timeless classic looks. The 5107 in white gold is rhodium plated, and some people believe this to be a negative, whereas I would say it's a positive, because instead of with yellow gold where when you polish it you're continually taking something off, with rhodium plating you're taking it off but putting it back on again. So you're achieving an equilibrium. The 5107 I think is one of the most gorgeous Pateks of our time. It introduced a screw down crown for a Calatrava, and it also introduced crown guards. That's right, crown guards on a Patek Calatrava dress watch. And I've got to say, it's absolutely fantastic. It gives the piece a modern look, a modern feel, as well as being waterproof and ready to be used in everyday life. I think the 5107 is one of the greatest Pateks of our time, and it represents the new breed of Patek, which is bigger, better, and more scoped to cope with the coming years down of use and general joy. I think Patek should be congratulated for bringing out the 5107, and it's really brought the range to a new aura. Patek also has some great sports watches like the Nautilus, the Aquanaut, but for me, I think the Patek dress watch is where it's at. I'm Paul Pluter. This is Paul Pluter Prestige. Please send me your comments and tell me what you think.